With the help of some of the best, most knowledgeable contributors, this channel has spent the better part of the last year discussing and investigating the issues regarding the FITZGERALD and the McCain. There have been other issues as well with the Lake Champlain, the Statham, the Normandy, the Antietam. One event, though, that we covered very, very quickly that perhaps we should have looked closer into has to do with another vessel, strangely enough, carrying the name Crystal. There was this vessel, the CF Crystal, that was involved in a nighttime collision with an Iranian oil tanker off the coast of China. Now, oddly enough, all this happening in the same region, all of this happening within the year, both ships named Crystal, both events resulting in loss of life, and both events having incredibly suspicious circumstances, hasn't really raised any red flags, even amongst what you would call, I guess, mainstream conspiracy theorists. Which, by itself, from my perspective, is pretty darn odd, given all of the strangeness. Here's the CF Crystal before the collision, and here is the CF Crystal after the collision. And as you can see, the bow is all crunched in, but you can see this, that it's all black and shiny. It looks like scorch. It really does. The Mount MT, I keep saying that, Mount SANCHI, it's just habit. MT, motor, tanker, SANCHI. This is the vessel prior to the collision, and this is the vessel after. Now, there were a lot of people, and rightfully so, asking how all of this burnout, all of this scorching could have possibly happened in a matter of hours, especially when you see here the fire is, not even over here. It's something that was asked right away, but nobody really followed up on it. And the fact that both vessels were named Crystal just got me thinking. It really did. It was something that could go a million different ways. One of the hard things about understanding the Navy story about the Fitz and McCain being wrong, it doesn't necessarily give you a window into what actually happened. Just knowing that the story you're getting is wrong doesn't really give you any hints as to where you should go to find the truth. It all happened over here, though. Around Korea, Japan, China, Asia, and so I tried to just think outside the box a little bit and maybe delve into how this would be perceived. American trade through the region and how Americans use language and how the Asians use language are very different. Like, for example, one of the things that stuck out for me is the term, and I know this is going to seem completely irrelevant, but both the issue with the FITZGERALD and the McCain occurred at the helm. Okay? The helm, of course, being here, the area, the steerage of a ship. The place that you control the ship from. Well, there's also the abbreviation Helm in English. That means helmet, but it doesn't have that particular translation, doesn't follow through in Asian culture. There was this event called Jade Helm, and I know it seems like it might be irrelevant, but I had a contributor bring it up, and I had thought about it some months back and just let it go because I didn't think there was anything to it. But the more that I think about it, that whole event happened in Texas and there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing that came of it. All of the conspiracy theories, all of the people that said it was just a prelude to some kind of martial law, it never happened. But strangely enough, Jade being another term for the word crystal, and the helm being the steerage of a ship, makes you think. And there was even a guy who took the time to write an article about this, and this guy was Russian, strangely enough. Mikhail Voitenko, I'm assuming he's Russian, I guess, from the name. And he had the same questions I did. He said, strange things already noticeable, some questions gnawing in the still unfolding drama. This was 8 January of this year. Once we saw pics in the daylight of the burning empty SANCHI, port side burned out to an extent which implies days of fire, not hours. I mean, the paint was stripped, and it just didn't seem like it could have possibly done that much damage that quickly. If this was some old vessel that had been used, maybe they were covering something up. It's hard to say. This is kind of a stream of consciousness video, in case anybody's not really paying attention to that right now. They also wondered how such an inferno could have been ignited so quickly just by being T-boned. I mean, we didn't see some giant explosion or fire aboard either the FITZGERALD or the McCain, or in really any of the cases where there were collisions. The Champlain had a collision, and I don't think I've ever seen an explosion. And there's flammables aboard, all of these vessels. And I know that a tanker is nothing but flammables, but still, just seems very odd. And they also had a question about the crew. It says, what happened to the crew, and how come that the only body found by evening Jan 8 was recovered from the sea? It was you would think, with a collision like that, it didn't happen quickly, and they would have had opportunity to get off the ship before this thing exploded. So there was a lot of questions regarding this. But back to the whole Jade Helm thing. I know it sounds crazy, and as I speak it, it sounds crazy. But in today's world right now, we have to consider all possibilities. Because this word jade doesn't just mean a green crystal. It also means a bad-tempered woman or an inferior, worn-out horse. And I can't imagine a better definition of how the Chinese see our Navy. Jade is also a stone that's used for purification in their culture. And make no mistake about it, the Chinese culture is very, very superstitious, spiritualistic type of culture. And so the symbology of crystal, ACX, meaning Advanced Combat Experimental, I don't think is lost on them. And I think this was something where they were attempting to let us know that they can do things that we can't do yet. CF crystal, coalition forces, clusterfuck, who knows what that possibly could have been. But the fact is, coincidences like this just don't happen. I mean, think of what the odds would be that these things wouldn't be connected. Now, this is just a picture of, this was supposedly where the Jade Helm exercise was supposed to take place, and what it allegedly stood for. I don't know if this is true or not. Joint Assistance for Deployment, Execution, Homeland Eradication of Local Militants. Okay. If that's what somebody says, it seems like, having been in the military, I very much doubt that that's the actual terminology that was used for Jade Helm. There's probably some meaning to it. I don't know. But the fact that it's come and gone in 2017, and they've had Jade Helm 2015, and that it occurs over and over again, the term Jade Helm, might be the symbology. It just might be something that the people that were involved in this issue with the FITZGERALD and the McCain were attempting to use some type of symbology in this event. And like I said, this is a video where I am putting an idea out, and I'm not making any kind of a statement that I believe it is factual or that it is for sure. But until somebody can show me something better, I would like at this point to even know of another channel even trying to look into it. It is very odd to be the lone voice on YouTube talking about this, because there are channels out there much larger than mine, with much more access to all sorts of different resources than mine. And for over a year, I've been pretty much the only guy. After about, let's see, June 23rd or June 24th, that was it. I was the only person looking into it. So, anyway, 10 minutes. Thank you very, very much, everyone, for the support, especially on Patreon. And here as well, it has been humbling. This channel 18 months ago only had 2 subscribers. And it was just me sitting on my couch playing guitar. And here we are with 18,200 subscribers and climbing. A Patreon channel that is going crazy. If you folks want to really take this investigation and other investigations to the next level at a place where advertisers don't come into play, that's the place for you. There's content there for as little as $1. Security clearance stuff at $5 goes all the way up to $50, and we have now, as of today, we have contributors at every level. We have $50 contributors, $20 contributors, 15, 10, and 5, and less as well. So totally up to you, though. Not a requirement at all. There will still be the Florida Maquis on YouTube no matter what. But do understand that putting out 2 videos a day here and doing 2 videos a day there is going to take up a great deal of time. So if I misspeak or if I flub a fact or something, please don't make any kind of assumption that I'm trying to mislead or I'm trying to do something nefarious. I'm just a human being and I make mistakes, and I will attempt to keep those to a minimum. But my contributors, also being the very, very best on YouTube, will definitely keep me on my toes. I count on you guys to do that and stick with me through this, and we will build this channel so that finally someone will listen, and maybe we will be able to bring truth back to YouTube. So, like, share, subscribe. Have a great night.